when people had integrity. But let me ask you. Okay,
you'd
so
be surprised. You'd
okay.
be surprised.
Now here's a good question for you. How much should you spend on an office gift?
Typically, no more than $25. That should be your maximum if you are authorized to buy a gift, and if you wish to buy a gift, that is what is allowed as a tax deduction for your taxes. So for a gift, and so $25 is really the max. And that way, $25 buys something that is nice, moderate. You're not going overboard. You're not breaking the bank, and it also doesn't look like it's bribery because it's.
Listen, for $25, I can be bribed, so I'm not sure about that. Give me a Starbucks card. Yeah. Also, what types of gifts do you think would be deemed business appropriate? Because, obviously, sending lingerie to your female boss probably is not. We can all guess that one.
Absolutely. Nothing too personal. I would stay away from clothing, apparel, anything that has to be sized, because you can buy something for someone in a large size just because you don't really know, or you're a person who doesn't really you can't really gauge what that person's size is, and you have all great intentions, and then all of a sudden it's an extra large, and you're giving it to a woman, and the woman feels fat.
Or
you gave her an extra large, and she's actually a medium.
And I could see the opposite too.
I would suggest things like food baskets, gift cards, things that that show that you have paid attention to the type of person that they are, and their hobbies and things like that. And it makes you seem like you are somebody who is paying attention and intuitive, not somebody who's just looking to just.
Well, Lizandra, it reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where Poppy had a gastrointestinal issue, and they gave him fire hot chili sauce. And also, that other part about the sizes, that can backfire the other way, where you buy someone a size 2 and they're a size 14.
Absolutely, absolutely, and right, and then gift receipts. Then the person goes and exchanges it and sees that it's a clearance item, and you 50 cents, and they spent $25 on you. So things that are not really so returnable are great.
Well, usually I just go to Costco and get all the free food samples and wrap those up. But
right,
that's
or
just
go
me.
to Tax Fifth Avenue and get the little free perfume.
Yeah, my wife loves those.
Hey, Lizandra, should I feel obligated to send my holiday, put my coworkers on my holiday card list?
Especially me.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not. I think that it's a nice thing if you give them a holiday card that you write, but not necessarily one with the picture of your kids or your pets. That's really personal, and unless you are friends with that coworker outside of the office, I certainly wouldn't feel obligated to add them to the Christmas list.
Now, you notice that I said holiday cards and not Christmas cards, so I guess we have to be careful with all of that.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Right, that's right.
Hey, how about our boss? What type of gift is suitable for a boss?
Again, I personally think that giving the boss a gift is a little bit. It's a little bit tricky because, again, it could seem like you're brown-nosing the boss. But in a situation where perhaps you are the boss's right-hand person or personal assistant, where you know a lot about the person, then perhaps it is appropriate to give a gift. And again, I would give something that is related to work. Sometimes I know it seems like a cliche, but a paperweight or something like this person drinks tea or
how about just taking them out to lunch?
To a specific coffee shop, or gets their shoes shined at a special place every morning.
No, that's a good.
So maybe a gift card to there.
But what about maybe just inviting them out to lunch? The place that they like.
I think that again, it can be misconstrued.
Okay.
A lot of times, bosses and their say assistants or staff members will only have dinner or lunch when it's around a meeting. And so to invite, it sort of puts the boss on the spot. They may not have the time. They may be traveling all the time. They may go from they may have a very hectic schedule, and it may put them in a position of saying no, which in turn starts
that's a good point.
Make an awkward situation for everyone.
So what about group gifts for the boss? I know that I used to do that in my first job every Christmas or every holiday period. We'd all chip in and buy the boss something nice. Is that still something that's popular and or socially acceptable?
It's done. It's definitely done within smaller to mid-sized companies and or departments where it's smaller, tight-knit staff. And sure, and again, you shouldn't have to feel obliged to be a part of it.
I could see that being
If you're
kind
somebody who just started and you don't, I mean, it may come across as you being cheap. I think you have to really use your judgment.
Well, also, you got to be careful. Some people are going to want to participate, some aren't, and pitching in. But I tell you what,
Right, and one of the things that we do in my office, and I've seen, is that it may seem unfair for those who do contribute, but everybody's name goes on the card regardless of whether they give or not.
maybe just have them sign a bigger name. And the little ones who don't participate, you tell them to sign little. Okay,
right.
Lysandra.
Well, the ones who give sign the card, and the ones who don't, just their name. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, tell you what,
I don't-
Lysandra, stay with us in the studio because we have to cut to a commercial break, and listeners, stay tuned because Lysandra has a gift that she wants to give out, but that we're going to have a little contest for during the break. But by the way, what is the name of your book?
It's called The Image of Success. Make a great impression and land the job you want.
Oh, that's an excellent topic. Okay, so here is our first commercial break, and let's see here. Okay, you got to get the right piece of paper here. Here we go.
What's the theme?
Okay, the
for
theme is
this week?
scientists. Scientists. Okay, which scientist had a dog that would associate ringing a bell with food and salivate? And we'll be right back. Excellent. You having fun?
Yes.
Good. Good job. Okay, we are ready for segment 2.
All right.
Okay, let me see here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the trivia question, and then I'm going to mention that the first 2 callers who call in and ask for the book are going to receive it, and then we'll get into the Secret Santa. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so away we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, and we're in the studio here with Lysandra Vega, who is teaching us about holiday gift giving for our bosses and co-workers. When we cut to the first commercial break, we asked this trivia question: which scientist had a dog that would associate ringing a bell with food and salivate? Mark, you're salivating now. What is that? No.
I've been hearing all my life about Pavlov's dog.
Pavlov's dog.
I know he had a dog anyway.
He had a dog. That's right. And we're gonna have for the gift of Lysandra's book, which again, what's the name of it?
It's called The Image of Success.
The Image of
Make a great
Success.
impression and land the job you want.
Excellent. Okay, so for starting right now, the first 2 callers who say, "Please send me the book," we will forward that on to Lysandra, and she will send you the book. And Lysandra, let's get right back into the questions we have. The next one has to do with Secret Santa, and how do you feel about that? And I got a quick little story. We had done a Secret Santa about 5 years ago in our office, and it worked well the first year. The very next year, it's one of those, if you pick someone's name out of a hat, nobody knows what it is, and you put it right. I was the only one not to get a gift.
Oh,
And I mean, it was like very disheartening. And we're talking about, and we're only talking about $5 items too. We said, no, you can't spend more than $5. And I was like, gosh, this is, and what ended up happening was I found out who it was, and the person just was a little bit old and just forgot, Well, great, I happen to get that person, So anyway,
I had a similar situation, and I was really disappointed because when I give a gift, I really spend a lot of time choosing the gift and wrapping it and finding the right bow for it and really obsessing over it. And for me, presentation is very important, even if the gift is small. And I had a similar situation at work where we had a secret Santa, or secret Shlomo, as we called it,
Shlomo.
nest, and everybody was getting gifts. It was like every day you got a little something, and then it led up to the big gift at the end of like Friday. And again, everybody was getting these little gifts, and every morning a cup of coffee or something, and I wasn't getting anything, and it was really, like, I took it personally. I thought maybe the person didn't like me. It turned out that it was somebody who
had died.
later fired. Who was
Oh.
injured.
Oh, jeez.
So did you call that person and say, you owe me gifts?
Right, and then the person, then I ended up getting something from the office manager. Like the person finally realized it because I was hemming and hawing so much, and I was telling everybody, you know, my secret Santa hasn't
Hates my
bought
guts.
me anything. What's that? And then at the end, I ended up getting a plant. And it was like not very personalized either, but it was something. And then I found out that the office manager finally figured out, oh, you know, this person is no longer there, and so they got me something from the company or whatever.
That's still no excuse. That person still owes you a gift.
Exactly.
Do you want to?
Exactly.
So
that's what was happening, because, you know, very often you're not going to get the same person who got you. The other thing that has happened to me is that I've gotten the same person 3 years in a row. I've had to give. I picked the same name of the same person.
Wow.
3 years in a row.
Well, my brother keeps sending me the same Christmas card. For years, we kept sending it back and forth to each other, just adding something to it. It's actually kind of fun. Mark's got a question for you.
Exactly. So and very often what's happened to me also is that I don't know the person who I picked if it's in a larger company. And so when that started to happen, when I first started my very first company, we were a small company, and then we started to grow and grow and grow, and I was with that company for 8 years, and by the end of that time period, I decided not to do it anymore, because I didn't know the people who I was picking, and I felt like, who am I buying for?
Yeah, it's just all commercialized.
It just diminished the whole fun of it. I don't know, I couldn't even see the person's expression when they opened the gift. That was fun.
Yeah, Mark's got a question for you.
Hey, so I'm the boss of my little company, and so what should I be considering when I'm choosing gifts for my staff?
Quality, number one thing. I think that oftentimes owners and bosses think that the gift is in lieu of or similar to a bonus, which is given based on merit. And when you're choosing a gift, it's really a whole other thing, and everybody gets to see what it is. Again, a small anecdote, I was at a company where the gifts were sort of tiered. I worked in a sales environment, and they made it based on your productivity, and it just wasn't the right thing to do.
No,
it wasn't about that. It was supposed to be about holiday spirit. A bonus is a whole other story. So that's what I think. I think equality is so, because then it becomes, it deflates morale within the company, and that's exactly what you don't want to happen. You want gifts to uplift your staff, and when everybody's opening, it's like, everybody got the same thing. It's an acknowledgement. It's a token.
So how about client gifts? Are they still considered, well, I guess they're appropriate. A lot of guys do client gifts, but...
Yeah, I mean, client gifts can be, again, a little dicey. You should also find out from the client whether their company allows them to accept gifts, because a lot of times we had a situation where we sent a very good client tickets to see a show, and they were sent back because the company had a policy where they could not accept the gifts, and he did not want to jeopardize his position for these theater tickets.
Yeah, that can be kind of embarrassing on all
you really
parts.
have to find out, and sometimes what I like to do, and I learned this from my very first manager, my very first boss, is that around Christmas, the holiday times, I happen to celebrate Christmas, but I like to take my clients out to a special lunch or a special dinner if they have the time, because that allows me to do something thoughtful and special for them, take them somewhere where I would normally not take them, and it allows me to interact and just really strengthen the relationship with that client. And that's ultimately what you want when you want to strengthen the relationship.
Well, Lysandra, usually I just hand them a Post-it note that says thanks, and I can't figure out why I don't have any more clients. But a question for you: how should you open the gift in front of the gift giver?
Yes. Yes. As someone who gives a lot of gifts, I find it to be so rude when the person just puts it away and doesn't. It's almost like they're not acknowledging the gift, or they're too busy to open it, or it's inconvenienced them, or they think you might not have chosen something that they like, and
they don't want an awkward moment
to return it. Right. I like to see the person open the gift. I think that it's very gracious, and so that's what I say.
And that's an interesting answer, because I've often thought that, well, maybe I should be taking it home and sticking it under my Christmas tree and opening it up Christmas Day. But what you're saying makes a lot of sense, that you should.
Those are your personal gifts. Those are the gifts that your family and close friends give you. I personally don't even do that. If somebody gives me a gift, I don't leave it under the tree to open it. I like to open the gift and acknowledge it in front of the person.
That makes sense.
I think it's just so much more gracious.
Yeah. Well, and what about thank you cards? Should you be giving out thank you cards for office gifts?
Immediately. And
that's why I carry the notepad with me.
A group gift, as you mentioned, is it a good idea to give a group gift? And I've often gotten a group gift from my staff. It doesn't mean that you give a group thank you. Each person it may seem like a pain to have to write every single person a thank you note when they gave a group gift, but it's really gauche to give one thank you card, and put everybody's name, or just say thank you everyone for what you gave.
Well, what's funny is I remember when I used to bowl a lot, there was one guy who was getting married at the bowling alley, and so we all pitched in and got him a barbecue because we knew he liked the barbecue.
Right.
And
that's a nice gift.
It was very nice, and it was. This was terrible though. He actually told us. He said told me. He says, you know what? I don't want to just say. He goes, why don't you just tell everyone on the loudspeaker? Just go thanks for me. Oh, great. So I did it, and I embarrassed him with it, too. I said, yep, he said that he wants me to say thank you. So, okay, now here's another question for you, because it goes on to the thank you notes. Is there a time frame between the time you receive the gift and when you should write the thank you note? And the reason I'm asking this is because I'm still waiting for the thank you note for the great 8-track player I gave my boss in 1979.
I say immediately, but of course that's not always realistic. So within the week, typically what I say in